like somebody's been playing in the sand, digging another Oscar breeding pit. And I know you're the other half of this pair. Oh my gosh, 2 sets of Oscars breeding in the 3,000 gallon. Wow, the Aquarium babies, they're really getting out and about and growing fast. Hopefully that's it for the breeding in the 750 for right now. What's this over here? Angels breeding on the drains again. The breeding never stops. I wonder if any subscribers of Aquarium will be at the Keystone Clash this weekend. I'm thinking, in case there are, I should bring them some gifts. Well, we got plenty of stickers. We got t-shirts. We've got other t-shirts. We've got towels and bags. Yeah, that should do. Keystone Clash this weekend, September 23rd, 2022. Alright, so I haven't wanted to even really look at the 3,000 gallon too much lately while I've been waiting for the baby parrot stickers to grow up because, you know, it's just a mess and having to wait to do the overhaul, so just kind of hate looking at it when it's a mess. But I noticed my mother's swords, they're just getting thrashed up by the big cichlids in here, by the peacock bass specifically and the large Oscars. So it's time to save the Amazon swords and get these guys out of here and moved over to the 750 gallon Amazonian island. Well, they'll have a much nicer time over there with those more moderate cichlids. Alright, gonna clean these guys up, get a bunch of detritus off of them, any cyano or algae or anything, and then go ahead and break off any dead or dying leaves, get these guys all freshened up and ready for the new home in the 750. Okay, so first step here is to lower this water level in the 750, you know, make it a lot easier for me to plant things all the way down in the substrate. We're talking 3 feet of glass and then some extra space above it, so even with the tongs it's a bit much, so I like to lower it down a little bit, at least maybe a foot around there, just to make my life easier. So those big beautiful swords, once we cleaned them all up, they pretty much turned into a few much smaller swords. These were, if you look back in previous videos of 3000 when I first put these in, these were giant 3 feet tall mother swords all the way around. Now they've spawned off a ton of babies and they're in all kinds of other tanks and everything, but the peacock bass and the big Oscar really did a number just thrashing these guys down, and that's everything I pulled off right here just to get these prepped and ready to go. But on the bright side, they're moving from one Amazon aquarium to another, and with this group in here, I think they will be in much better shape and be able to get back to their full glory and grow back up again. So I'm looking forward to rehabbing these guys and also seeing, you know, the impact it makes on this scape. Before I do plant those, I'm gonna get this guy, keeps getting knocked down, so I'm gonna get that resituated and then figure out the layout for the swords and then do a little cleanup, because these guys, I like this branch right here, it's been all the way around the aquarium. I've pretty much seen it everywhere. They just keep pushing stuff everywhere, so get everything tidied up a little bit and then we'll get to planting. All right, let's take a look and see how good of a job I did trying to save the Amazon swords. All right, here we go. Amazonian islands, augmented again. And I know you're thinking, I thought you weren't gonna put plants in the sand because of all these cichlid diggers, they're gonna dig them up. Well, it wasn't the plan, obviously, and that is a concern. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, I've placed the swords in locations, and you notice, well, let me say, hopefully I placed the swords in locations that aren't blocking these guys from where they feel like they need to go to swim and everything, so hopefully they don't feel the need to move them around. And also, hopefully when I feed them, it's not going to be in the way of them, you know, foraging off the ground, but we'll have to wait and see. I also, you know, I put like rocks and things like that near the bottoms of them, so to try to beef them up as best I can. So we shall see. If, you know, in terms of the swords themselves, you can see they're all cleaned off and they're all looking bright green and ready to go in their new home. So we've definitely done everything we can to give them another lease at life. There's no 2.5 foot long peacock bass slamming through them. You know, no 14, 15 inch Oscars, you know, grabbing them and ripping at them. So, you know, they're definitely in a better location to thrive. Just one other thing with the aquascape, took that one piece that's always falling down and it's like jammed all the way inside the rock now, so that's going to stay. I just rotated the plants that are on there to make them pointing the right direction, and it kind of fills in the arch there, which I like quite a bit. And just as I say, look at this. On cue, it's like he's, you know, for the video, he's like, I don't like this thing here, I'm going to start tearing at it. And that right there is why we have concerns with plants with cichlids. But hopefully it's just him protecting his fry, or his, they're not fry anymore, his babies from this intruder in his zone. So hopefully that's all it is. We'll see. It is definitely going to be questionable whether they're able to thrive or not. But I'll keep an eye on it. And if I have to move around, I'll move around. But let's go ahead and give these guys a feeding real quick with the new swords in there and see how it works out. All right, this is probably where they're the most rambunctious and everything. So if we see the sword surviving this without these guys banging into it too much, that'll be a good sign. Especially down low here, you can see the food is landing, you know, all in and around the swords and all that. So it's definitely attracting all the big cichlids right on top of them, like we can see here, the big parrot and a big severn right there at the base. But you know, they're not smashing through it or anything like that. They're just going for the food. And what was destroying the plants over in the other tank was the fish literally thrashing through it, just like, you know, sparring with each other and just swimming through it and just thrashing the leaves. It wasn't like that they were trying to uproot them or chew on the leaves or anything like that. So you know, hopefully these guys it's a big tank here, they're able to swim right through there, and hopefully the plants won't be in their way at all. I hope so, because I was going to say before, I think it's going to have the same effect as like the 600, where we zone out here, and by having these plants in the foreground, well, they're kind of in the middle foreground there, they help show you the depth, the 5 foot front to back, you know, how deep the tank really is. You've got quite a few layers of aquascaping going on at this point, as well as the arch. Sorry, I love the arch. I love the way the fish swim through there and hang out underneath it. It's actually got me thinking for the re-aquascape on the 3,000 gallon peacock bass. They like to hang out under things like that as well. I may have to work something in there. I got some ideas. We'll see. That's a monster undertaking. So it's taking a lot of planning for that one, but that is definitely one of the things I'm thinking about. And I would say the swords survived the first feeding, but no, in all seriousness, I think they will be okay. I mean, I wouldn't put them in there if I thought it was a foregone conclusion that they'll get thrashed. I think once these guys get used to them, they should be fine. And also too, they'll thicken up and they'll grow up and they'll create some pretty awesome sight lines as the fish swim, you know, behind them and through them and all that kind of stuff. Sort of the way the arch does in the back of the islands, where we're getting a sort of a softer version of that up front with the plants. So definitely exciting. Well, unfortunately I have to keep the video short, but at least we did a good deed and we saved some Amazon swords and gave them another lease on life in the 750 gallon Amazonian Islands build. Me and the missus are heading up to Pennsylvania this weekend for the Keystone Clash, so if there's anyone who watches Aquarium Domain videos and you're going to be up at the Keystone Clash, please find me, say hello, and I brought some goodies with me, so if you're a subscriber to Aquarium Domain, let me know and see if we can hook you up with a shirt or a towel or a bag or something, stickers, whatever you want. All right, look to see you guys there, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Aquarium Domain, we are off to the Keystone Clash.
Cool. So there will be lots of vendors to sell clothes and purses, right?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of vendors for sure. Well, but we better get going. We don't want to be late.
Okay, sounds good.
See you at the Clash.